How to behead ISIS, a fitting topic for today's video, now that the second journalist has been beheaded by these barbarians in the Middle East. We need to remember that we should be allergic to putting 150,000 ground troops back in Iraq to fight another war for another 8 years. But that does not mean we should be allergic to a vigorous and aggressive program of airstrikes aimed at crippling ISIS. Not a token raid here or a token raid there, but a sustained, ongoing barrage that wipes these people out. This war is being fought in a desert. It's not being fought in cities or in dense urban areas. In the desert, air power is totally decisive, and we can use it to wipe out ISIS, and we must. Obama is adopting an approach of tokenism, a little bit of bombing here, a little bit there, because he doesn't want to alienate the people that elected him based on a peace platform. Well, these two beheadings should show how important it is to stop these guys before they take over another country, and to stop them before they advance further. We also need the U.S. Treasury Department and the Fed and the State Department to be as effective as they were in cutting off Iran's access to international markets, in cutting off ISIS's access to international funding. Stop any company that does business with any company that does business with ISIS. A secondary kind of boycott. Use our control over the international banking system to freeze the accounts of any country or anybody who is involved in funding ISIS. Go after the Saudis, Qatar, Kuwait, and all of these guys who are funding these outrageous people. Go after them aggressively in the air and aggressively through financial and economic sanctions. We're relenting in those sanctions on Iran. We shouldn't be. They're not giving us anything in return. But we are relenting. But those sanctions were tremendously effective. We didn't get around to imposing them until last year, but they became incredibly important, incredibly good, and we should replicate that process here. Now, the harder task is to stop ISIS jihadists from coming back to the United States and attacking us. Prime Minister Cameron in Britain has just announced a program to authorize the British cops to seize the passports, even of British citizens who are returning from the jihadist areas, and of those suspected of being involved with jihad. And they're being given very broad power to surveil and to confiscate passports of those who want to come back in. Now, Britain, of course, is an island. It's a lot easier to do it there. And Obama's total inattention to the southern border would make a mockery of those kind of controls in the United States. We passed Cameron's program, and we'd like putting a bolt on the front door while we remove the back door off its hinges and leave it completely open. We have 100 children a day coming in across the border, increasing probably to 300 or 400 toward the end of the month when the cooler weather comes, and our Border Patrol is babysitting them and shipping them to other areas in the United States to be assimilated. We have got to close that border. You can no more permit an open border with ISIS loose in the world than you can permit a lack of a quarantine with Ebola loose in the world. You've got to take account of what's going on in other parts of the planet and stop those epidemics from coming to the United States. And you cannot do that with a totally open and porous border, as Obama has in the South. Thanks for watching.